Happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day. And I hope no matter what your day consists of, whether you're someone with family and barbecues and fireworks, or someone that is triggered by fireworks and likes to spend today being calm and has stress through the evening, I just hope that everybody can have the day that they want to have and that it's a good day for you, no matter what that consists of. This has been quite the week. We've seen a lot of stuff this week. That's been pretty interesting. So I came into this community under the true crime umbrella. I came in during the initial surge of the Watts case, and then I've bounced around to different cases from then. And I've watched true crime merge with drama, merge with trauma, split apart, come back together, everything. It's been a wild ride. BJ's channel started not as a booming channel at all. It actually wasn't doing very well. She did poor true crime coverage. She couldn't do anything on her own. She always had to have a guest on panel. And she would frequently dip back into the drama, and her true crime viewership would leave. Now, back then, she was pretty quick at bouncing back. When she would see her viewers leaving, she would pretty much notice it right away and apologize and get back into her crappy true crime coverage. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. BJ's channel didn't really take off until the Kylie Rodney case. And that was only because it was a trending case in the country. You know, it was the typical white American girl next door. The kind of things that, draws the attention of the country, as sad as that is. So BJ just happened to jump onto that case at just the right time and did a lot of streaming of news networks and things like that. So that's when her channel really took off and started getting viewership. The thing with BJ is she doesn't do true crime. She doesn't research cases before she comes on. She doesn't prepare anything before she comes on. When she has a co-host, as she did with Mal, they would do all of the work. She would be the host, kind of. So a lot of times what she did and what she still does is she will just pull up different news streams or other streamers covering things and comment on them. And a lot of the times her comments are, wow, or, okay, what do you guys think of that? So she'll play someone else's stream for 5 minutes and then pause and say, what do y'all think about that? And then her panel guests provide all of the theories and basically feed her the case. You can talk to anyone that was a mod for her during the big true crime portions of her channel, and they will tell you that they did a lot of the work for her. And you can even hear it now when she's talking about starting up or restarting her Discord so that people can drop cases in there and case information, and she can find it easily because she's a busy mom all day. She doesn't have time for that stuff. It's amazing to me that some of us work 40-hour-a-week jobs and have kids and could still do research enough to get on and do a stream at night, but she can't manage it. Interesting to me, but whatever. But they'll tell you that they do all the work, and she just basically sits up there and kind of leads how the panel goes, which she doesn't do very well because she doesn't have a backbone. So people can get up there and pretty much say whatever they want, and she's never gonna, question you or correct any misinformation given out. So BJ's true crime coverage has always been kind of questionable for some people. She goes way too far in some of these cases, and she'll get called out for it. She goes into the family and friends of these victims. And I mean, she digs into social media. She digs into anything she can find about them, makes accusations, puts accusations on these young people who are just beginning their lives. And whatever you put out on social media is there forever. So it's going to be associated with their name for the rest of their life. If somebody looks it up, whatever you're saying about them is going to be there, whether you're speculating or whatever you're saying, you need to be careful because it affects people in real life. It can affect everything, especially these young people who are just starting their lives. She also frequently mixes in dry bagging through her true crime content and drama from the community mixed in with her true crime content, which is completely inappropriate and not professional. You should not be talking about the murder of someone or the accidental death of someone in one sentence, and then the next sentence you're talking about your hot water heater blowing out and you don't have the money to pay for it, and what are you going to do? And 3 sentences later say that Gamey Num Nums, whatever kind. What is that nickname, by the way? Gamey Num Nums? That's freaking weird. That's the weirdest nickname for somebody you dislike I've ever heard in my life. What? Anyway, mixing in some granny drama in the midst of your true crime, talking about deceased people, not appropriate at all. And speaking of nicknames, while I'm thinking of it, real quick, BJ, if you don't know the meaning of the nickname Nancy that you're calling nonsense, you need to look it up. I know that you do know what it means, though. So you need to quit using that nickname. Find something else. Okay? If you don't know what it means, quit using it. If you do know what it means, quit using it. It is not appropriate. I'm sick of you referring to people in this community as pedos. Stop. Because there's a big difference in a pedo and a predator. Because I know the comeback is going to be, well, y'all call Sinner a predator. Well, there's a difference. Stop using that nickname, for God's sake. It is not appropriate. So the past, 3 nights on BJ's channel have been disastrous. I don't even know what is going on over there, but it's super weird. And BJ is also always constantly, my kids aren't part of YouTube. My kids aren't on YouTube. I don't bring them to YouTube. BJ, you do realize that YouTube funds your kids' birthdays and Christmas every year? And you know they do. You don't buy any presents. You come on here the night before their birthday and say it's their birthday, and you know that you're going to get a bunch of cash apps. You know, this time you even brought Christian over to say something because you know that tugs on heartstrings. So that's what you do. You don't buy anything. You wait until the night before their birthday. You come on and talk about how sad you are. Your babies are growing up, and oh, I just can't believe it. They're getting so old. And then the happy birthdays started coming in chat. And then Christian, come look at all the happy birthdays. And he comes over and says, thank you. And then the money starts pouring in. And you know what you're doing. Like, we're not stupid. You do this at Christmas too. The year that you supposedly weren't getting paid for Christmas. So the pay date in December or in every month is the 21st. So you were freaking out saying you weren't going to get paid on the 21st and you hadn't bought any Christmas presents. Who in the heck has young children at home and you haven't bought any gifts by December 21st? Because you knew what you were doing. You know. So yes, your viewers are taking care of your kids. They're providing their birthdays and Christmas. So they kind of really are part of your channel. And it's pretty gross too. It's actually really gross to see that. And to tell them that that's who's providing for them. So they now just expect it from the internet. That's not a good thing to teach your children, in my opinion, as a parent. And what I think she did 3 streams that night, like all night long. Like the last stream was like at 5 a.m. or something crazy. And I don't know if that's because she wasn't getting enough money. So she would, every time she went live, she would bring up the whole birthday thing again to get another round of donations. I don't know. It was weird. And then, so that next day was her son's birthday and she's telling us that she, you know, they spent the day together. He had ice cream cake. He had a great birthday, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know when she slept. I don't think she did. Thus why night before last, she comes live to talk about Brian Kohlberger in the Idaho 4 case, and she sleeps through the whole stream. And this is what I don't understand. You know that you're tired and you're falling asleep. Why would you come on here and do that? BJ, think about this. You are a paying member to a channel. You go to that channel for a true crime discussion. You're sitting there. They pull some panelists up that are kind of all giving different information, misinformation. You hear you snoring and there's somebody else's stream playing. Would you be happy with paying for that if you were a member? Are you okay with watching a creator that you know is sleeping through the stream? And last night when you were talking to Craig, you admitted that you slept through it. So I don't understand that. That's so disrespectful to people. Like, you're expecting people to pay you to sleep. I could never do that. I could never disrespect people like that. People that are paying me their hard-earned money or their money from retirement or whatever, I'm not going to be sleeping on them. I'm going to be giving them some content that is worth their money. That right there just showed how entitled you are. Because you feel like you're owed something, that you can just come and sit and sleep and people are going to pay you money. And it works because you've scared your viewers into not questioning you. Because if somebody comes in and asks if you're sleeping or says something about hearing something, nobody's sleeping. And then the next night you're joking with Craig about how you were sleeping. But you've scared your viewers into never questioning you. It's the biggest gaslight of all because you're telling them that they're not hearing what they're hearing. I could never give you money as a paying member because it is unreal the disrespect that you show those people that are paying your bills. And I will never understand that. I started working at the age of 15 and I didn't stop. And I would never dream of asking people to pay my bills or pay my gas or my groceries. I would sooner go hungry. I would not do it. I would go out and get 3 jobs before I would come and ask strangers to pay my bills. It's so disrespectful. So anyway, you slept through most of that stream. You had panel guests that were giving the wrong information about the whole plea and the case, all kinds of things. And I'm sitting there thinking, you covered Idaho 4 for quite extensively. And you were acting like you don't remember a thing. You're pulling stuff up like it's a brand new case and not remembering anything. And it's because you don't prepare your streams. You don't research them, so you don't remember it. And you don't care. It's about the money at the time. It's not about remembering the victims, honoring the victims. bringing awareness. It's not about any of that. It's about money. And that's why you don't remember the cases that you cover. You had someone on panel that couldn't even remember Sebastian's name. And you never suggested it. You were probably asleep, but you had Craig in the background playing music very rudely in the middle of someone talking on your panel. It's loud in the background. It's distracting. You had him asking why the family can't pay for a different prosecutor, and everybody on the panel acting like they didn't know the answer to that. Even you, BJ, the true crime queen over there, had nothing to say. Couldn't tell him why they couldn't pay for a different prosecutor. It was unreal. It was the biggest shit show I have seen on that channel yet, which is saying something. It was just pure insanity. There was bodily noises and misinformation and music, and it was bad, BJ. It was real bad. And then you kind of woke up near the end, last hour of the stream. You woke up a little bit and started trying to search stuff, which you don't do a real good job of, and treating this like it's a brand new case that just happened. Like he didn't just plead guilty and make a plea deal. It was very odd. So then last night you go live talking about Brian Kohlberger, Idaho 4 again. And you have panel guests, because you can't do it without them, up there giving this information about SA being a motive. So people in your chat are telling you, no, that was never said. That's not true. It was never said. Your regular people are telling you this. Of course, you're not reading your chat. Somebody finally points it out. So you start to kind of question SW a little more about where she heard it. But then you have Craig go into the chat as a moderator and is down there saying, all the haters, you're all jelly donuts, and I got the cream. Why is your man in the chat talking about cream while you were up there spreading misinformation about an SA motive? It was absolutely inappropriate. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And you didn't say a word to Craig. Didn't say a word. You shut down that stream because everybody was calling you out for misinformation, but didn't say a word about what he's commenting in the chat. And all of the things that we've heard from him over the past however long he's been coming on there, everything is a perverse comment. He's radical. He is disrespectful. The mods that just left you and the previous mods, all of them have given you money, have done research for you, have gone above and beyond for you. And just because they chose to walk away from your channel, and a lot of them would walk away and never say a word, but you can't let it go there. You're following them. You're pulling up screenshots of them in other chats. And then you have Craig get there calling them losers and that they'll never amount to anything. They're jealous of your successful channel. All of this bullshit. It is unreal how you still have a channel. It is. Because the things that you do, I don't even understand how a human with empathy could behave the way you do and allow Craig to behave that way on your professional true crime channel. And I'm going to suggest, if you're not subscribed to the creator Burnt Toast, I highly suggest subscribing to her. She is intelligent, funny. She covers locales and she has great content. So last night she did a stream, and in it she talked about a conversation that BJ and Craig had about why she named her members the Unbearables and where that came from. So Burnt Toast looked it up and talked about where that came from on her stream last night. And it's interesting, and it tracks right along with their other radical extreme views. I'm not surprised by it. I'm sickened by it, but not surprised. So I suggest anybody who would like to know more about that, go check out Burnt Toast live stream from last night, July the 3rd. I hate that some creators have created this environment where their subs feel like they can't go where they want to go, or chat where they want to chat, or talk to certain people, or they may get called out or chastised or kicked out of their group if they're caught doing it. And I hate that, because we're all adults. Like, we should be able to come on here and do what we want. You know, in real life, we wouldn't let somebody dictate who we talk to and who we don't. It's the same thing online. You're on there for your leisure time. You go on there and talk to who you want and do what you want. And if people don't like it, oh well, they'll get over it. And the big problem is parasocial relationships. And they kind of mimic some cult-like behavior, because it's this odd, one-sided relationship that isn't recognized as that right away, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to get creative here, and this may be stupid to some. It may make sense to some. Bear with me, okay? Okay, so let's picture that you're driving down the road. You're getting ready to go to a town that VJ has told you is a really bad town. There's violence there. It's bad people. They're your enemies. They know that you support BJ. So if you are seen out there, you're going to get attacked, or they may try to take you hostage even. And if BJ sees you get out and talk to anybody there, you're going to be in trouble. So you better stay in your car. I don't care if you need gas. I don't care if your car breaks down. You better get out and push that thing so you're outside of town, because it's a bad town. So you're driving down the road and you're looking around and you have this in your mind of how bad this place is. And so everything you see, you pick out something negative, oh, the color of that house is so weird. Those windows are nasty. Can't believe people live in there. Everything you see in a negative light, because you've been told how bad these people are. But then as you're driving down the road, you start to hear something and you look out your window and you see this big tornado, this huge, messy cyclone. There's rain, there's debris, and it is spinning and spinning, and it's getting closer to you. And before you know it, you're pulled in. Once you're inside of this wind field, you look over and you see BJ standing in the middle, and she's just standing there, withstanding all of this storm. And it's kind of weird because when you first got pulled into this, you were scared. You didn't know what it was. But once you got in there and you see BJ standing there, you're actually a little relieved, because it got you out of that town you were in, and you can cling on to her and you're going to be okay. And the more that she feeds the chaos and the true crime into this tornado, the bigger it gets and the more people it sucks into it. And those people see you clinging to BJ. And so they cling on to you, and they think that this is how we'll survive. BJ has some amazing power. She can withstand this. We're amazed by her. We just need to hold on to her, even while we're standing here with all this debris, the dust in our eyes, the rain spinning around. We're getting hit with small things. We're getting bruised, but we're okay. And we have to stay here because BJ's here. And if she can do it, we can do it with her. We can't abandon her. So you cling on and you are inside of this. But as she starts to run out of things to feed this cyclone, it starts shrinking, and the pool gets smaller and the wind field gets smaller, and those on the outer edges start getting tossed out. So you've gotten tossed out and you land on the mushy ground, and you're sitting there and you're kind of dazed and you're bruised and sore and you're just trying to get your bearings. And you look around and you see just destruction all around you. And a few feet away, you see a couple more people that are sitting up, kind of looking the same way you are. They look really rough. They're covered in dirt and soaked, and they're looking around. And you look down the road at those houses that you had passed earlier that you thought were not so nice houses, and they suddenly look beautiful. And the sun is shining behind them, and you see the doors opening, and there's people running out, and they're running towards you. And you immediately feel scared because you've been told how bad these people are, and you're worried about what they're going to do to you, and you're just worn out. You're weak. There's no way you can fight with them. You can't do it. You've just gotten out of this storm, and it's too much. But as they get closer, you see that they're carrying towels, and they're actually coming to help you up and dry you off. They're super nice. They come over and they hand you a towel, and they say, "Do you want to come down to my house? Come in, warm up, dry off, wash off, take a shower, whatever you need." And you stand there in amazement at what you're hearing, but you also look off in the distance and see this tornado that you just fell out of. And suddenly you realize something, that BJ wasn't withstanding the storm. BJ was the storm. She was the cause of the storm. She created the storm. She gave it the chaos, the drama, the ingredients for it to even be. So while you were in there clinging to her, thinking she was strong and withstanding it and someone to be admired, she did the damage. And you realize that it had all been a lie. Everything that she told you. This town wasn't bad. People were nice. They weren't anything like she said they were. And she wasn't protecting you inside the storm. She caused it. She put you in the storm. It was all a lie, but you can't see it. While you're inside of that storm, when you have the wind and the dust and rain in your eyes, you can't see what's happening. But standing on the outside, looking back at it, you suddenly understand it all. That's just kind of my interpretation of what I see happening. Parasocial relationships plays a big part in all of the chaos in this community. We discuss such emotional topics and things that we can relate to and that bring out emotions and defensiveness in ourselves, because we just naturally gravitate towards cases that we can either relate to or understand. And so some people get more emotionally attached than they should. I've always said that if you feel too close to a case, you don't need to cover it. Because when you can't separate the emotion from logic, you're not doing good anymore. You're not being helpful anymore. When you can't pull back your bias and your emotion and look at something objectively, you don't need to be doing it. I think we have this community of just caring, nurturing people, and that makes it a population that's very easy to take advantage of. Unfortunately, people will do that. I've noticed there's a lot of caregivers that are in this community, whether it be taking care of family at home or as a job, social workers, all of that in our community. And it's because we all have a similar care for other human life. We want to help. We want to be there for other people. And you put all of this together and add some cases that are very divisive, and you have chaos. And you have parasocial relationships because these people may be socially awkward and this is the only way they can talk to someone, or they don't get out of their house. So the only social interaction they have is online, and a parasocial relationship can form very quickly. We hear details about these creators' lives. We may know how they grew up, their favorite foods, their favorite color, their daily routines, their family, like all of these things. And we feel close to them, and they in no way feel close to us. And it's hard to accept that and understand that because you start to really care for that creator. And we all need to be able to step back and say, this isn't my friend. I don't need to attach. I can do what I want. I'm my own person. I can talk to who I want. They're probably not even going to notice. We have to be able to be autonomous and not connect ourselves to a creator who really doesn't even know we exist. If we were gone from their chats for more than a few days, we'd be forgotten by them. So it's really a precarious environment for emotional, caring people to be in. I overall just hope that people will think about it and be self-aware of where they are at in their community, and be self-aware of what they're doing, what they're involved in, how close they are, how attached they are, and kind of check yourself and remind yourself that this person isn't your friend, and that you are an adult who can do what they want. And the rumor, what's the saying? The rumor that you heard about me is probably as true as the rumor I heard about you. It's like if you want to hear negative things about me, go talk to my ex. He'll tell you all kinds of negative things about me. You want to hear good things about me? Talk to my current husband. He'll tell you all kinds of good things about me. There's good and bad to everybody. There just is. There's bad stories about everybody. There's good stories about everybody. There's not a single person that doesn't apply to. I don't care who you are. So when you're hearing things, check them out for yourself. Don't take somebody else's word for it. Be your own person. Make your own decisions. And don't let someone dictate who you speak to, where you go. If someone's discussing a topic that you find interesting, go watch. Go chat. You're an adult. It's okay. I promise you that if you're now in a situation, a community where you feel trapped, where you feel like you can't go where you want, if you step out of that and start going a few places, it's going to feel free. You're going to feel like a new person, and it sounds crazy, but it's true. Today is 4th of July, Independence Day. Think about your own independence. Maintain your own independence. Be your own person. Don't live for someone else, especially on social media, because I guarantee you they aren't living for you. And if someone comes into the chat you're in and says some salacious rumor and it's repeated, but you never see proof for it, ask for proof. Don't just believe it, because there are groups of trolls that specifically stir the pot. That's what they do. They don't care who's mad at who. As long as there's some drama going on, they're happy. So I have watched with my own eyes. I've been in a chat, watched a person go from the chat I was in to a separate chat, make up a complete lie about what the other creator said, and drop it in that other chat, and it's picked up and ran with. Proof never asked, nothing. So if you are in a chat and something like that happens, ask for proof. Don't believe something until you've seen it with your own eyes or heard it with your own ears. And if you see it with your own eyes or hear it with your own ears, don't let someone tell you that you didn't. There's a lot of gaslighting going on. And that is specifically that, telling you that you didn't hear something that you heard. That is gaslighting. So just stand up for yourself. I hate to see people pushed around and used and manipulated. And I don't care if it involves money or not, just emotionally. I have seen BJ legitimately hurt people that thought they were friends. And I hate that. People shouldn't come into a community and make friends and get manipulated. It just shouldn't happen. The same goes for friendships. If you're in a friendship and you're giving more than you're getting, it's not healthy. If you're the one that's always calling and doing things for them and asking them how they are, and in return, they don't know much about you, they never spontaneously call you, they never reach out just to see how you're doing, they wouldn't drop everything to be there for you, that's not a healthy friendship. I just want everybody to realize their own self-worth and to not settle for less. We all have unique, special qualities about us that nobody else has. We all have people that fit with us and don't fit with us. But just because someone fits with you doesn't mean that it's good for you. Don't accept treatment any less than what you deserve. Because we all deserve to have a friend that calls us out of the blue, that would drop everything to come help us. We all deserve that. And for those who think that DJ is getting piled up on and feel sorry for her and all of that, please actually look at her true crime coverage. Look at these past few streams. Can you validate that as true crime coverage? If someone's searching up Brian Kohlberger, would you want them coming across those streams and hearing the misinformation and the disgusting rhetoric of Craig in the background? Do you think that's okay? I don't. I don't want that being representative of a true crime community. The things that Craig was typing in her chat last night while discussing the murders and proclaiming essay of someone was absolutely despicable. It was the most disrespectful thing I've seen. I still can't believe he was doing that. That's not okay. You hear something, don't believe it until you've seen the proof. Ask for proof. Get it. Don't believe everything you hear. And value yourself. Stand up for yourself. Be your own person. Do what you want to do. Listen to who you want to listen to. Talk to who you want to. Life is short. You don't get another chance at this. Don't spend all your time being afraid because there's fear mongering going on. And I hope everybody has an amazing 4th of July. I hope everybody has amazing fireworks. If you're someone with trauma that's triggered by fireworks, I hope that you have a peaceful night that's quiet and stress-free. And I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. And I should be dropping a video this weekend. I'm sorry, my surgery has set me back and I've been slow, and I apologize. But I'll get that done, and I will talk to you guys later.